DC here. Hi guys and gals. Well, I hope that you are all well, and today is Monday and it's nice and sunny. It's not extremely hot though. It's like 19 Celsius right now, but it's going to go up to I think 25, which is, warm but comfortable. Yeah, so let's see. As I usually do on Mondays is tag day, if I could call it that way. And I just checked and saw that Jasmine's Monday tag is out. So I copied the questions. I already had Dave Nicholson's last Saturday tag. So as usual, I'll just start off by Jasmine's and finish off with Dave Nicholson. So hello, Jasmine. Hope that you're well, and I'll try and answer your questions. So let me see. We're going to start. So we're walking through the park here, actually. So you might hear or see some parents with babies or what, but I'll try and be discreet. Okay, so question one is, what does trust mean to you? So trust. Well, that is a quite difficult question in a way, because trust really means that you are ready to give in to your, I was going to say to give out to somebody your weaknesses, your happiness, your joy, your faith. If you really have somebody that you have total trust, you're ready to do all that, basically to become completely vulnerable. And as you can probably imagine, that is not something that is very easy. That is really not something that's very easy, because if you're going to do that, that means that you are ready to become, as I just said, actually totally vulnerable, and in a position where the person which we give your trust, well, basically could slander, destroy you, do so many bad things to you. Now, what does trust mean to me? Actually, it means that there are very few people to which I would entrust myself. I guess the only person that I would entrust myself completely to would be God. And everybody else, there are some things that you just don't go far enough, and no matter what people say, there are limits to your trust. Now, when I was in the pharma business, in the, what years would that be? In the early 2000s, probably. We had these, that was very fashionable at the time. They'd send you off into kind of like, almost like camps where you'd have to trust on, this is before the real GPS systems, and don't forget there was no real smartphones. There was Blackberries, I guess. Was there? Maybe there was then. But I mean, we didn't have like GPS systems like we do now. And we would have to be, do things in the woods, or we would have to blindly trust our colleagues by running blind with one of them next to us, or throwing ourselves from high, from high up and into their arms and stuff like that. And we'd be told it's to teach you trust. And frankly, for many of us, we said, it's probably more to teach us fear, because you have to do it. It was like part of the management training. And I'm only saying part of it, but there were things where they would show us before, like, being blindfolded and walking over a river on a plank, a stream, sorry, not a river. But you know, and high enough that if you fell, you would hurt yourself. So you had to put yourself into their hands. And you know what? It was no fun. It was no fun. We had one of our bosses who was like, he was a big guy. He was easily 300 pounds. Yeah, I'll say it in pounds. He was easily 300 pounds. And he took a great pleasure in throwing himself off because he was our boss. And I remember him saying to all of us, "You guys have to catch me." And we all looked at each other, I think for a fraction of a second we thought like, well, what happens if we don't? And then we did. Okay, so I've been long enough on question 1. Question 2, do you find it hard to concentrate? Sometimes. Maybe I just showed an example where I guess it was hard to concentrate. I should have been concentrating on the questions instead of my explanation. If I'm not interested in something, it can be really hard to concentrate. And if I really am interested on something, I can be razor sharp concentrated on it. It's so it really is. It depends a lot on the amount of interest. Now, has that changed with time over the years? It has, but I think that has more to do with stamina than the possibility of able to concentrate. I know that, there's less probably mental acuity over age. You just have to look at certain politicians, but I think it's much more a question of interest and so on. Okay, so Teddy, so let's see, I guess that's what I answer that question. Question 3, how much time do you spend alone? Well, paradoxically, when I was working, I probably would spend a lot more time alone because I would travel a lot. I would be, my lunch times were always alone, and so on. So there was certainly much more time, and I would say many hours in a day. Now I try to find alone time, yes. Having said that, I think that Mrs. DC is the same. I mean, she needs her alone time. People have often said, and I realize that's true, that when you retire, you end up being with your spouse, if you have one, and you will be sometimes challenged to find alone time. And that's something I know that we have worked on. It hasn't been hard to work on it because actually we just kind of like was a natural fit that yes, we do have and need to have alone time. So how much time? I don't know how much, but enough. Yeah. Question 4. If life is a journey, where is yours leading? Haven't we answered something like that before very long ago? Maybe, and we have actually. So I think that it's funny. The kid said Michael, and there's not many Michaels around here. There's my grandson. Okay, I'm getting off topic. If life is a journey, well, you're probably going to say I know where mine's leading. I do actually, but before I get to the final journey, which is basically after death, I got to get there. So I guess my journey, in a way, I hope, as far as I can say, I hope my journey will be that of a good mentor, parent, grandfather, husband, the whole deal. And my final journey, well, I sure hope it's heaven. No, I don't hope, I know. And so, yeah, but, like everybody, I'll have to go through death first. Okay, now, where am I? Question 5. Do you believe everything happens for a reason? Well, I'm gonna go with my standard answer to that one, because that's also a question that comes up in different forms quite regularly. And the answer to that is yes. There is a reason, but it's not a reason that we like to hear about. The reason is basically that we have, I was going to say, the human race has fallen from grace, if I can use those words in that way in this context. And finally, the whole path of history, things happen. Now, sometimes, and things happen because of that, because of something one would call the fall, wouldn't it? But there are things actually that have been discussed, is like, do bad things happen to good people, and do good things happen to bad people? And again, the answer to that is very simply yes. But because basically, as one can read even in the Bible, it rains on both the just and the unjust. And I think that's a very simple answer, but I think that it's important. It's important because in the human race, we all need to share in the same things, and the way we share in the same things is through life's experience. Now, how we react to those, that's another thing. And I will not get any further into a type of theological discussion. Okay. Is that it? Yeah, it is. Okay, and I have been talking way too long. So thanks a lot, Jasmine. Your questions often get me going, and people must be saying, will he ever shut up? Well, anyway, I will now. So DC signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.